Hello everybody, welcome back to a video. Happy July 2022. I haven't seen you for ages, clearly. You may have peeped me over on Instagram. I tried to post a few things, but there was no real consistency. I apologize. Life has been a little crazy, to say the least. But I'm here now, you're here now. I love to have a bit of a chit chat and catch up with you. I find the time between spring break and summer, like those 3-ish months, to be so rough. It's hard to keep things up during that time, just mainly with work. But this year, on top of work, I had some other behind the scenes things happen. So let's talk about all those things. I'm going to catch you up on what's been going on in the last while since we've last seen each other in the digital flesh. And yeah, this is your cue to go grab something to drink, a little snackaroo. I've got some leftover Thai milk tea from breakfast, so I'm gonna try and finish this up as we chat, surrounded by my plants. I moved the configuration of the living room a little bit again, so this is now the better spot to sit. We're a little different. Let's start off, I think, maybe with the biggest overarching stressor in life for most people, and same with me, which is work. For those of you who haven't been following along, I work as a teacher, and specifically for the last couple of years, I've worked as an LSS teacher. That stands for Learning Support Services. In some places, you're called an LST, a Learning Support Teacher. Essentially, while I don't have my own class, I am the case manager, the main contact person, support, direct and indirect for our students with special needs, which can be a variety of things. It could be children with neurodiversities, children with anything from physical, intellectual, sometimes even behavior, like they all kind of fall under my umbrella, and both students that are diagnosed formally and those who are not diagnosed. So there's a lot that I do, but in the last 2 years, I've split the job kind of with a work partner where I have taken on some ELL work as well. So ELL stands for English Language Learner. It used to be called ESL, English as a Second Language. I know in certain countries they may be called ELA or E something something, like different acronyms, essentially the same thing. You're helping the students who may not speak English as part of their first language or home language or mother tongue to acquire the skills to, do what they need to do in school using English. So I've now kind of taken on 2 roles, but I've decreased the number of classrooms I work in, but still lots to do, no shortage of things, and I'm still kind of the main contact person for anything to do with learning support. That means a lot of things with district people, psychologists, school board people, a lot of official documents, this and that. But what's been really challenging, more so than most years I suppose, is number one, I've moved rooms. In the beginning of the school year, I thought I was getting my office back because we didn't have those COVID rooms anymore, because my office was a COVID room. But then we had a student who really had needs to be in a alternate space, or the opportunity for an alternate space, and my space was decided on to be the right space, so I gave up my office for that. But for next year, I think I'm moving in with my work partner. I've kind of moved in temporarily this year, but really didn't take any of my stuff. Like I literally took a couple of binders and some pens and some of my paperwork and just like worked off a random desk in her classroom. I'll post a picture here if I have a decent picture. I've literally just been working off a random desk all school year. But by June, we decided to officially move in together. We're cohabitating as work roomies. So I finally moved my teacher desk in there, a shelf, filing cabinet. I haven't really decorated or anything, but we're gonna make this space kind of super snazzy. it's nice in the sense that, you know, instead of picking up the phone and be like, hey, what do you think about so and so or this or that, I can just go, hey, what do you think about so and so and this and that, you know? So there is benefits to that, but at the same time, it's a little sad to lose kind of your own office. If you, I don't know how it looks in different parts of the country or even from district to district, but knowing that in my district and the surrounding ones, working as a LSS or ELL teacher, you often teach out of a bucket. There's hardly ever real office or classroom space for you. So being where I am, I'm already like, I know I've lucked out, so no complaints there, but it is, you know, stressful moving stuff. On top of that though, I feel like this year we've been really short-staffed, and in multiple ways, not just short-staffed in terms of the jobs we need to do, but I think district cuts have now put more things that needs to be done to the school level, but yet not giving us more manpower or people power to do the things. And we had a couple of really weird weeks where we just did not have enough substitutes. When that happens, if you don't know, when that happens and there's a classroom of 30 kids wide-eyed and awake at 9 a.m. in the morning and there's no grown-up body, they pull teachers who aren't part of regular classrooms, so teachers like me, like my teaching partner, the music teacher, the librarian. Sometimes we had the counselor had to drop everything and sub into a classroom just to make sure there's a decent grown-up body in there for the children. So that's been really stressful, and I think the biggest stressfulness of that is the rest of what I need to do in my job. Nobody does that part. Like, that's still waiting for me after I spend a day in someone else's classroom, you know, covering that class, you know. And we've had a couple of months actually where we had to cover 2 to 3 times a week. That's like me and my teaching partner, and there was like a solid week where all hands on deck. Music got canceled, library got canceled, like everybody was in. Yeah. We even had a while where we didn't have a principal because our administrator got sick, and then all the teachers got sick, and I didn't get sick, which is great, but on the other hand, it was absolute chaos. I like to think of that week as the week that we were home alone with no boss, just running ourselves and the children. Yeah, so in short, work has been keeping me very busy. However, I'm gonna take that hat off, put it on the side for the next 2 months because I am on summer break and I couldn't be more excited. However, leading up to summer break, on the blogging home end of things, I had a computer crash. I know, I'm not a very heavy tech user. I don't do anything risky or exciting or power draining or anything with my tech. But one of the days I came home, my Mac just decided to show me the black screen of death. Like, out of nowhere, I didn't touch anything, nothing weird happens. Like, you know when you have a PC and you get the blue screen of death? Mine just turned black with like a really random symbol that I've never seen before. It wasn't the Apple logo, and it's just like I couldn't get it to do anything. So after much Googling and digging and getting it sorted, apparently it's just like a random catastrophic data loss. The hardware is fine, everything else seems fine. We rebooted it to factory settings and it works fine, but I've lost all my files. And while I'm pretty good with backing stuff up and putting things, you know, in the cloud, like in my job, didn't really get to that in my own life. So any of the footage I filmed or I've pre-filmed is now kaputs. That includes an old apartment tour that I was almost finished editing. That includes like a real kind of fun spring cleaning thing that I filmed, that's gone. Some vlog footage that I was in the middle of editing, that's gone. So I'm a little peeved there because as far as I knew, Macs are supposed to be pretty reliable, but again, that doesn't mean, you know, a rock can't just fall from the sky and things happen. But I think this might be the push though, for me to try out the laptop life. I've been thinking about the laptop life for a while, but could never really commit. I've always had a solid standalone computer, and that was kind of a security thing. I don't actually think it makes any real difference. Laptops nowadays are so robust and technology has become so good that it feels like you could probably live off of just a laptop, even if you do some small creative things. I can understand if you're like a filmmaker or, you know, do something like super intensive, you would still need a custom built laptop, custom built like desktop or something robust. That's not me. So I'm thinking if I can migrate to like a MacBook Air, the new Mac Air 2, M2, whatever it's called, just came out. So I placed an order for that, and we'll see how it goes. So either I'm gonna trade in my current one or sell it or something. Everything seems fine with it now that I've rebooted factory settings, but have no data. So loads of my footage is gone. I'm gonna have to kind of start from scratch to refilm some new things, but you'll understand. Those of you who've gone through like weird computer crashes, you get the point. If you are someone who has been living the laptop life, as in that is your main gear, let me know how you like it. Did you get an external monitor to plug in? Did you feel like you need to? Do you enjoy having a laptop versus, you know, a big honking desktop thing? I really like my desktop. There's nothing wrong with it, but I have been thinking about transitioning to the laptop life, so this might be the little push to just try it out. We'll see how it goes. You let me know if you already do, and what do you like about it, and what are some things that you miss. If you recommend particular tools or things I get if I'm transitioning over to the laptop life. All right, so that's kind of what's coming up. I placed the order with the specs I want, and they told me it won't be ready until August. So for now, I'm still using my desktop computer, but hopefully the switch is a good switch. Let's talk what's over there, which is my balcony garden. It has been such a sad year for gardening. I don't know where you all are, but over here on the Pacific Northwest coast, it's been a slow and very cold spring and a slow and very cold summer for the most part. All the way up until June, when we had like our, you know, year and staff social and stuff like that, it was cold. We had loads of rainy days. I actually put out some seedlings and stuff I've started in the correct package recommended dates, but it just never warmed up. It was just cold and cold and rainy and cold and cold and cold. So all of my seedlings just dragged on and on and on. And I think with most plants like that, they do have a natural life cycle of how long, you know, they are to be alive. And if they don't grow enough in that certain stretch of time within their life cycle, they just die. So I did not have a great gardening year at all. For example, I planted some sweet peas. I was like so excited, sweet peas. And they are scrawny. I think I've only got one that's maybe 30 centimeters. The rest of them are so sad looking. I bought like all kinds of stuff that just didn't really come out or come up because of the weather. The only one that made a little bit of progress, I got some snap peas or sugar peas, some dwarf varieties that did come up, and I got a few handfuls, but it still wasn't great either. I got rid of the IKEA Hillis shelves I had before that some of you have commented on previously, gave them to my mom. And I decided to get something a bit more compact. So this summer I bought myself a veg truck, Poppy, which is like a small, much more compact raised garden thing, which I do like. And I've done some DIY rigging to get a few planters on the railings. I have very particular fussy apartment railings that aren't conventional, shall we say. but I've kind of consolidated my gardening a little bit. I'm just sad that nothing really flourished and grew super well. Once I tidy up the space a little, maybe I'll give you a tour on a nice day and you can see kind of what's up. I've been posting a few photos here and there over on Instagram of the garden, but it's not as robust and lush as I'd like it to be. But what else can you do when the weather's not cooperating? On one hand, I can't complain because we haven't been getting the ridiculous heat, but on the other hand, the plants aren't awesome. Speaking of ridiculous heat, I did manage to snag myself a portable air conditioner, because last year with the getting up to 40s in Vancouver is not normal. And even though I tried so hard not to buy into this AC thing because I feel real bad about this eco-friendly business, it just was not realistically survivable. Especially being in apartments where it tends to get rather warm to begin with. So I do have my AC in the corner. It's very loud. I only turn it on for, you know, like 15-20 minutes at a time just to cool the space enough, and then I kind of turn it off. But at least that's keeping me alive. We haven't hit the 40s yet. The last couple of hot days we've had are only like 32 maybe. Probably inside the apartment it's more like 35, but it's okay. Doing okay there so far. Wish the garden was a little better, but I'll try and show you a little tour in a further video once I have it tidied up a little bit. Let's talk about other blog business. I have officially shut down the blog website. And those of you who have been kind of looking around, you'll know I've been pretty step back from that for at least a year now. When I had more of a focus on product reviews and things like that, there was more of a point to have a accompanying blog website. But now that I really have shifted over to lifestyle content, and I realistically don't have the time or the energy to keep up both, it makes much more sense to just put my focus on one thing. And right now I'm really enjoying filming vlog content and YouTube content. I'm trying to learn how to streamline that. So it made sense to kind of say goodbye to the websites. So that means both the Weekends with G, my general big website, and for a while I tried to branch out into a food blog, but again it was just too stressful and too many things to juggle all at once. I feel like I'm much more happy and it's much more manageable just to do one thing, like just to do the YouTube, you know. And again, because I'm no longer doing like product reviews, there wasn't really a point like swatches or anything like that. That does mean, however, I need to think about what to do with my Flickr, because Flickr was the place I have been hosting all of my photos for the blog, and I have been paying for the subscription to host, I think, unlimited photos or whatever it is, because Flickr is now separate into two versions or tiers: the free version, which limits the number of photos or the capacity of your account, and the other one where you pay into. I'm currently paying into and have been, but with the blog shutting down, I don't know if it's still necessary, but I also want to lose all my photos, so I'm going to think about what I want to do there with Flickr. But leading from that, let's talk my coffee account. For those of you who've already been on there, if you've bought me a coffee, send me some love. Thank you very much. Those, like, loads of you have been super kind, dropping in, checking in on me, and just sending me, like, you know, like, go get yourself something nice, which is really sweet of you. If you are a content creator of any kind on YouTube, you'll know that it's really by now become a very, like, not, if you're looking to make any monetary gains on YouTube, you either need direct sponsorships, which I'm not super interested in taking because it's not my jam right now in this time in my life, or you need like a bajillion followers just to get the percentage amounts. More and more so, you know, the ratio of what you get is quite small, and is just not really, it's not a real good return on investment, should I say it that way. I definitely pay more into you know, the programs that I use, my time, my equipment. I pay more to make videos than I get monetarily out of them in any kind of ad revenue earnings or anything like that. Just like the basic stuff, which for the most part, let me say, I don't mind. I enjoy doing YouTube still, so hence I'm still doing it, but it's certainly not a good ROI. So that leads me to coffee. I've had my coffee account for a little while now. I got introduced to it from a couple of sewing vloggers I watch. It's very, very similar to Patreon. On the very surface level, you can make a one-time donation or buy someone a coffee, and that doesn't get cut in any way. So that amount, whatever it is, goes directly to whoever that you're buying the coffee for or that you're supporting. Whereas from ad revenue, like YouTube takes a big cut. It's just what it is, right? It's the system, so to speak. But interestingly, also on coffee, they allow you similar things like Patreon to have like a storefront, to have tiered memberships, if you will. So you can make a one-time support, or you can subscribe monthly to something tiered. Like I can set it all up as a account holder. I've been thinking it would be fun to offer some kind of rewards. Again, I say this from perspective of I'm not an independent artist. I'm not someone who's like got super fancy schmancy stuff to offer, but I love to know what you'd be keen on seeing as kind of a thank you in return offering to put on my coffee account. Most likely it makes sense for it to be digital content of some kind, either exclusive access to something or tutorials. I say tutorials lightly. I don't know how much I'm up for making tutorials. They are a big job. And or if I want to put something up on my coffee storefront. Many moons ago, I had an estate shop and I put up handmade items for sale. I don't know if I want to do anything that intensive. For all makers out there, you know how much time and effort and care it takes to create something handmade, and whatever you can sell it for that's reasonable to most people is almost never meets the amount that you put in. But I'm not against the idea. I think it might be interesting. I've had a couple of people over the years, you know, DM me or ask like if I would make things to put up for sale, but I don't know. I don't really know what I would put up. Currently, I'm pretty interested in making like accessories or home goods versus clothes. Clothes are just way too fussy. It's already stressful enough sewing for myself, and that's just kind of something I wouldn't touch, and I'm not ready for. Not anytime soon. I've actually had real life friends who've asked me if I'd make something for them and like they pay me for it, and I'm like, no, just thank you, sorry, like not me right now. But I might be open to putting up some digital content, digital downloads. I like the idea of putting up something creative or something tangible. I just don't really know what they are yet. I gotta think about that. So let me know if you have thoughts. I don't want to make this complicated. And again, let me say this very clearly now. There's never an obligation to support me monetarily through coffee or anything like that. Just like leaving a comment, us being able to chat is already loads of fun. It just gives me another layer to see where this could end up. I just kind of discovered and have been playing around with over on coffee is that you can have albums and host photos and things like that in albums, which got me to thinking I might kind of make that as my landing page. It allows you to make albums, it allows you to share short posts and stuff like that. Like I said before, it's apparently very similar to Patreon from what I've seen and have heard from other people. So the nice thing about that is I have started slowly to migrate some of my photos onto coffee. In particular, my sewing projects. It's nice to have a parking space for my sewing project, like my finished photos, just so people can go on and see like what I've been making, what I've made throughout the years. Not every single thing, but lots of things I've taken photographs for. So I want to put those on there. And granted, now that I had this catastrophic data loss, I need to go around and try and collect whatever I can find and just try to post it there. And for each of the photos, the items, I can put down like what pattern I use, what fabric I use, just kind of a place where you can see my handmade wardrobe things. So I think that would be nice. I don't actually know what the capacity of the albums are, like how much you can upload, or is it a set number of photos, or is it a set amount of data. I need to go do some more research, but it seems like it has some potential, and I like the idea that you could make a post on there, you know, saying some stuff, or if I happen to want to do some swatches or whatever. So I'm thinking of making my coffee account kind of my home base for things, since I will no longer be having a website blog, so to speak. But however, circling back, this doesn't mean that I won't be posting any more recipes. I've actually been keeping like a notebook and writing down the recipes I want to start filming. They just take a lot more coordination to film, but again, now that I'm on summer break, I'll definitely have a chance to do more of that, and I'm kind of really excited about it. Filming recipes is really fun. Like the end product, when you see it, is really fun, and I know lots of people enjoy it. It takes a lot of coordinating and planning out your scenes and how to edit them together. Yeah, it's fun, but it's a little trickier than just filming a regular vlog. By the way, can you hear the noise in the background? I don't live in New York City, but at this point, it sounds like I might as well, because there is construction happening everywhere. Of course, it's happening during when I'm actually at home and on summer break, but what are you gonna do? There's just a lot of developments happening, and I think they're digging down deep with the construction. Like they're digging those foundational layers, and just been so noisy. I currently have all the windows closed. I don't know if they're locked. I think when they're locked, the seal blocks out a bit more of the sound. I just have them kind of roughly closed right now, but I can hear the machines digging and digging. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty noisy kind of summer, and it's just how it's going to be. But that did lead me into thinking that I would love to kind of go out a bit more this summer, especially since it's not supposed to be that hot. It's a cooler summer. There's lots of kind of local places I want to go visit, like, you know, my usual hangouts, but also some new places I've seen people post about on Instagram or whatnot, and I want to go and check them out, but I want to have like a game plan, so I'm not just wandering all over the place. I can actually go like in a strategic route to go visit some spots. So who knows, maybe vlogs for this summer is a lot more going out content rather than hanging out at home content, because home is going to be real noisy, I think, this summer, and it's just the choices of other people and out of my control. Yeah, so that might be kind of fun. I don't have any major trips planned. I have a short trip planned for Whistler over the summer, just to get out of town, so to speak, but nothing major. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to vlog the Whistler trip or not. I'm not going skiing. I mean, it's summer, but I'm also not going skiing. I'm just gonna go and see what's up. Maybe horseback riding, maybe kayaking. I have to say, I'm not a super sporty sport person, but it is nice to get out of your immediate area and just do something different for a bit. So yeah, there's that. What else do I have to share with you? The hair. Okay, the hair is not set up in a way that you can see a lot today. I'll try and post a picture of the hair situation. A couple of months ago, I decided to go back to some DIY hair, a little bleach job, a little visit to Sally's, and I have not bleached my own hair since high school, university, quite a while ago. I used to be quite a DIY hair person, and then, you know, I found my magical hair guy who's expensive, but well worth it. It turned out to be, I think, a little too expensive for what it was at that stage of my life. I could still save up for it and go to my hair guy, but then I have to be very particular about how I wear my hair, because I want to give him like the most creative control over how the hair turns out. So he would cut my hair as well as color it, but sometimes I don't want to cut a particular way. But anyways, that's a whole different story. So with COVID, with everything, I've gone back to DIY hair, which has been very adventurous. So I bleached my hair, and then I had put on some semi-permanent color, demi color, whatever you want to call it, toners, just so I can shift it here or there without committing to something. But since I'm a teacher on summer break, I might do some really fun kind of rainbow colors. Those of you who had quote unquote not natural hair colors, which ones were your favorite, and are there any brands that you love? I know there are a couple brands that are very popular with temporary hair colors. I personally been looking at Arctic Fox as a brand. They do some really fun shades, fun or funny shades. And I've been looking at Pravana as well. They're more of a salon brand. They also do some temporary colors, mix and match kind of deal. But I've never colored my hair anything other than like a more natural color. So this will be new, but I think my hair is at a level where I could do some fun colors and it would still stick. So if you've done fun colors, you let me know. I know very popular ones, purple and pink, but I'm kind of thinking of doing like a teal or a turquoise or a blue of some kind. I don't know. What my worry is I'm gonna do a fun color that clashes with my skin tone, or that would limit my wardrobe choices, or that would require me to wear a lot of makeup in order to balance out the hair color. Like, I don't want to do that, but I still want the chance to do something fun, because usually during the school year I like to be a little bit more within the box, if you know what I mean. So that's going to be really fun. I haven't ordered anything yet. Hopefully you'll get a chance to drop me some ideas or link me to some, like, I don't know, Pinterest photos or whatever. I'm all open to seeing what you've got, but know that I'll be doing this at home by myself. So it won't be like super professional, but I think it'll be fun regardless. What other things do I have to update you on? I guess the last thing, if anything, is I think I'm going to be losing my sewing machine for a little while. Not in a bad way, but I've been meaning to take my machine to maintenance to get serviced for a long time now. Have I actually gone? No. Have I ever actually serviced my machine since I bought them? Also no. Am I terrified that one day it would just seize up and just not come back to life? Absolutely. So the smart thing to do would be to take it in for servicing, but the last time I called them and asked some of the places, they told me the wait list is like 7 weeks, because loads of people have started doing DIY sewing crafting things and bought machines and have sent the machines in for troubleshooting and stuff, but their wait list for servicing is now like, almost 2 months, right? So now that I have a bit more of my sojo back, because I'm on break and I have the mental capacity to think about being creative, I want to like make all the things. So I don't want to send my machines in, because now I'm like in the mood to actually have time to make things. But at the same time, I feel like I really need to send my machines in. So what I might do is wait till the end of the month or the beginning of August, when I'm like, I'm kind of over the creative juices, and then I'll send both machines in and just wait however long it takes for them to be serviced, because I know that is a smart thing to do. I just haven't done it. And now that I'm in the creative flow, I don't want to get rid of any of my stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But that also means for half of the summer, I might need to find a new creative hobby. If my machines are gone, what am I going to do with myself? Like, what do I do? I don't know. I'd love to hear suggestions. Those of you who are creatives out there, or makers out there, like, what's your secondary hobby? Or what's your primary hobby if it doesn't happen to be sewing? I know that knitting is not my jam. Knitting is too tedious, repetitive. It's just not me. But I'm open to trying some other creative maker type of things, since very likely I'll be sending both my machines away definitely by the end of summer, just so they can get some TLC as well. So until then though, I'm going to be making all the things. I bought quite a few new sewing patterns because they've been releasing some good stuff online over the internet. So I've got things to make for sure, but I definitely am on the lookout for a new hobby as well. So I think that is plenty of rambling for one video. Somehow I still managed to not finish my tea. But I hope that you enjoyed this chit chat. It was so nice catching up with you, and so much info. I'll put anything that needs to be linked or that makes sense to be linked down below in the links. It'll be a little bit weird that my links now will no longer include a blog, but that's just the direction things are moving, and I'm okay with that. I hope to see you very soon in the next video, which I'm not sure what it is yet. I just started filming, picked up the camera for vlogs again, but it usually takes me about 2 weeks to get enough vlog content to make you know, a day-to-day vlog. So in between, I might film a few more singular videos. If you have thoughts, you have things you want to see that I'm done yet, put them down below. But until next time, I'll see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.